I've channeled a message for you. This is a collective message, so take what resonates and leave the rest. If something feels forced, don't take it. If it feels certain that it's yours, then it is. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I'm Brandy Fleck, a Reiki healer, certified trauma-informed coach, and host of the Human Amplified podcast. The Human Amplified YouTube channel has a ton of resources to help you be your true self, from real-world interviews to divination, all with the goal of helping us ground spirituality into our humanity, ascend and evolve naturally and authentically. So be sure to browse around, see what else there resonates, leave me a like on what does, leave me a comment, subscribe, and I'll see you around. Now, if you've seen my last couple of channel messages, you know that right now in my spiritual development, it's easier for me to write or type out what I'm sensing and receiving from spirit. So that's what I've done today too. So I'll be reading the channel message to you. It came to me in 3 different sessions over the last 2 weeks. The frequencies you're meant to receive are still there. And if I sense anything additional as I'm reading, I'll throw that in too. This is a timeless message, so whenever you find it, you're meant to get it. Let's get started. To begin this message, I sit down outside. The wind is blowing even though it's a beautiful sunny morning. The weather is calling for thunderstorms later in the day, and I can tell they're blowing in. As I'm outside, I ask Spirit, what does collective need to know for their highest good today? I am then prompted to look in my coffee and start scrying. I also always ask to be a clear channel for the collective that's tuning in. So in my coffee mug, I see a manatee coming up with its nose at the surface of the water to check out calm waters with the sun shining down. But very quickly, the waters change and a tidal wave starts to overtake the scene. The water quickly changes to earth, new earth, hills, and eventually a mountain forms from the broiling within, the churning and bubbling up of the molten magma, which becomes lava, which becomes rock, which eventually becomes earth and soil. And as the mountain forms, I am being shown a mushroom coming up through the crust of the earth and sprouting up in a forest floor in parallel. It's the same process. One is smaller and can be held in your hand, the other large enough to climb for days or weeks, yet both mighty and parallel universes. It seems this message with the wave and the earth is similar, both mighty, both parallel universes, similarities, similar processes just expressed in different forms because of the different elements that are taking center stage, but all the elements are at play. And now I know this message will carry a theme of balance, balancing the elements. When they are not in balance, swells occur, inflammation occurs, and what you see going on in and around the earth in the form of disasters stems from imbalance. What you see going on in and around the earth in the form of disasters is in parallel to what's happening in the human body. Yes, as a human race, one organism of humanity, but then also down to each individual cell of the humanity body, individual humans. As above, so below. I'm also seeing clear skies after the storm, after the tumult. So all's well that ends well, I guess. It feels like there may be calms between the upheaval, which may feel like the tumult is over, but it's part of the process. The true end is clear skies, but there will be clear skies in between before the end of the tumult, before the storm is over. Not really false starts, but more like natural expansion and contraction. To help explain this better, I'm getting sensations of pulsing or convulsing, and now Spirit is showing me retching. When you retch, there's a convulsion where your body expels poison, then a pause, then another convulsion, then a pause, and then maybe this time the pause is a little longer, but another convulsion comes until all the poison you've ingested is expelled. Remember, as above, so below. This is happening with the earth. This is happening with the human race body, the entire human organism. They're saying, and remember, when you're retching as an individual, you feel it most prominently in your stomach, perhaps. And while your leg and foot is not convulsing, it tenses up. A convulsion in the core of your body impacts the entirety of the rest of your body, like the Earth's body. You may not know the soreness you feel in your legs or shoulders after the retching is related to the retching, or you might. There are different degrees of awareness. However, the whole body is impacted. This is so for the earth. This is so for the entire human body. Do you see? Is it clear? Heal your body to heal the humanity body to heal the earth. Heal the earth to heal the humanity body to heal your body. That is the message today. They're also sending me sensations of tension and urgency. There is an urgency that doesn't feel great to me. At this point, I start to doubt the process a little bit and disconnect. I want to be a clear channel, and I'm wondering how much of me is coloring this message versus spirit coming through. So as I disconnect, my center starts to feel calmer. I am back in my own energy, just sitting on my patio in the cool spring wind, and I can tell that I am not creating the sensation that's going on. That's a message for you too. As you're developing your psychic abilities, it's okay to exercise discernment. It's okay to pause, to check in with yourself and your own energy and keep working at it. Now, at this point, I have a short burst of tingles all over my body, and that confirms for me that all of this is part of the message to you. It's all related. I'm being prompted to tell you to feel the earth, feel how it's different than your body, but know it's the same. So, going back to the retching, Spirit was showing us earlier. I've asked how will we know when we've reached the end of the convulsions as opposed to just a pause or natural contraction during the process. And now I'm being prompted to break down the animal symbolism that came up in the beginning of this message to get some specific details for you. Perhaps the answer will be revealed. So at this point, I pause the connection again because I have to go get ready for work and set the intention that I'll come back to finish this message. After work, I spend some time researching, and here's what I found. A manatee symbolizes gentleness, peace, harmony with nature, generosity, compassion, curiosity, tranquility, and trust. They are embodiments of harmony. When something is not in harmony in this universe, it works toward harmony, equilibrium, homeostasis. Chaos is part of that creation process, but homeostasis is the body's ability to maintain a stable environment despite changes in the external environment. It's self-regulation, it's balance. And while there are automatic functions in place to restore balance or homeostasis to bodies, such as the human body, animal bodies, and the Earth's body, our planet, there comes a point where imbalance may tip the scales, and balance can only return through destruction. We're at a point where we get to choose destruction, or if we'll choose making adjustments to tip the scales the other way, where we come back to balance through creation and life. Either way, balance will be reached. So, what does a tidal wave coming and taking over the peaceful manatee mean? There are several symbolic meanings of a tidal wave, some of which are overwhelming emotions, stress, anxiety, feeling swamped and out of control. But the one that really feels resonant with this message is the cleansing of old habits. In order to reach a peaceful balance, we are being prompted to adjust ourselves, our ways of being. And as part of that process, there will be physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual symptoms. The cleansing will occur like the retching, with expansion and contraction until the poison is completely cleared away. And while that may feel uncomfortable, it's necessary. Side note for me, don't go make yourself literally puke, okay? This is a metaphor. Okay. So now I'm asking Spirit what else they want us to know, and they're prompting me to draw an oracle card. And they just said that creation and destruction are two sides of the same coin, the coin of duality. So I was pulled to the Luminous Humanist oracle cards. I cleared the energy on the deck by knocking it 3 times, shuffled, and the reverse bucket list card came out. Okay. And as has been the pattern with this message, I actually have to stop and go to work. I will continue recording this video when I get back, but I'm also prompted to tell you that this is part of the message. Sometimes it comes in pieces, and that doesn't mean that you can't keep going, okay? It's all related, so I'll be right back. Well, I'm back. It's been 2 days since I paused recording this message. When I stopped recording, 11:44 was on the recording timestamp. So if 1144 sticks out to you, maybe that's something you need to take note of. And so back to the reverse bucket list card. There's a quote in the guidebook about this card that is from Oprah Winfrey, and it says, "Be thankful for what you have. You'll end up having more. If you concentrate on what you don't have, you will never, ever have enough." And now I'm not going to read the entire guidebook message about this card because it doesn't feel like it all applies. But what does apply is every time you take a deep breath, stand in awe of a glorious sight. Tap into heaven via meditation, revel in a scrumptious bite of food, or connect soul to soul with a loved one. You are having a reverse bucket list moment. Every moment of awareness strengthens your awakening muscles, adding leverage to your ability to be lucid in your dreams and in your life. And the mantra for the reverse bucket list energy is I revel in gratitude for all that I've done, all that I have, and all that I already am. And I think this relates because all that we have and all that we already are made up of elements, are made up of the same materials that make up the earth and the stars and all kinds of other things. And so we actually have a lot more inside us than we realize sometimes. And also, when you're experiencing the creative process and you're in the part of it that is more about destruction than creation, you still need to practice gratitude. Gratitude will help you get through it, will help you see it for what it is, and allow you to continue living in abundance despite destruction. Okay. So now I'm asking, what do we need to know about balancing the elements? I shuffled the card deck and check yourself before you tech yourself came out. This is from the same Luminous Humanness Oracle deck. I don't know why, but to me, this looks like that she's got a chess set down here that she's moving the pieces on. And so it's almost like she's gotten a checkmate on this chessboard. And she needed to do that before she dropped into the technology of creation. Because if you look at this card, there are all kinds of sacred geometry symbols beneath the chessboard that is floating in between her and the sacred geometry. So it's almost like it's floating in the ethers. The imagery takes me back to that fifth element, but the other elements are there of, there's earth, I see wood in the picture, greenery, nature. I also see what looks to be like water, but also what looks to be like air. It's very similar. And the shape of the water or air can even represent a tornado. But what I don't see here is fire, but I see energy coming out of her fingertip, and maybe that's where the fire is coming from within. Okay, and that's what I'm getting right now. But when I originally did this reading, this message, this is what I wrote, and this is what I felt like Spirit was saying. Pause and drop into the space between. The space in between is the void, and the void is the space from which consciousness creates. It's where we manifest from. It contains the ethereal material that starts as an idea and ends as physical matter here on earth. The void is nothing to be scared of. It consists of darkness, yet not evil. It's what you do with it that determines whether or not it's good or evil. Ether is the fifth element. I don't know much about it myself, so I'm asking Spirit to tell us more about ether. I'm being brought back to a vision I had a couple of weeks ago when I was falling asleep, and I wrote down what I saw. So here's that journal entry about ether. The tears you cry are like the rains that fall on the grass, the supple green grass helping it grow. The amount of tears you've cried earlier in life have created a beautiful flowing stream of life-giving water that sustains you now. It sustains your internal ecosystem. It's deeper than it looks. It's made of ether. Particles of ether from the void bind with the vision or energy of what you're imagining as part of manifestation, physical materialization. It has similar properties as water, but also air and earth. So that's really interesting because there's no fire in this card that reminds me of ether. It's like glue, sticky glue when combined and molded, yet can easily dissolve back into the void if released. And then I wrote down the word neurons. I wrote down dark matter question mark and dark energy question mark. And so I feel prompted to go research those things. I don't know much about those things, but they came up. So maybe that means something to you. Maybe you can draw some connections around ether and dark matter. Let me know if you do. I would be really interested to learn more about it. And I definitely want to research more. So, just like it has taken me several days to get this message recorded, it took me several days to channel this message. And so, about a week after I channeled what I just presented to you, I decided to sit down in meditation and ask our guides more about ether. So, I just said, "What is ether?" And they said, "Whereas the fifth element is ethereal, but we can't define something by itself, or can we?" And as they're saying this, I'm seeing swirls of energy that are almost like streams of air. And all I can call it is really white and translucent energy swirling and waving around in the void. I'm reading this on my phone, by the way. They say pure creation, containing building blocks of matter, time, and space. It's yours to play with. Creation is play, after all. And now I see a snow-capped mountain and hear the word mountaintop. Creation is the mountaintop. Creation is the land-saving sea. Creation is the goat. So I'm getting Capricorn energy here, a methodical chewing and climbing, a process to be enjoyed, the passage of time. So then I ask, what does the passage of time have to do with ether? It allows you to manifest within the passage of time. The illusion, the construct that exists in the 3D needs scaffolding to slow down the energy that makes things so instantaneous in other worlds, other forms. Ether is the sticky glue that slows down the flow of energy enough that it can materialize and be seen. And so slowness can be revered. It has its place in your journey and is by design. Slowness, the density. Ether creates density. Ether allows you to rise above the density as well, for if it didn't exist, how would you have an opportunity to rise? Ether can be like quicksand, sludge, slime. It can also become more solid and allow you to stand above it if you know how to use it properly. If you learn about it and use it in love and kindness to yourself and others. Ether is a building block of time. Okay, cool. Then I asked, is this why you can travel in time if you travel faster than the speed of light? And I kid you not, guys, when I was 10 years old, I knew nothing about like time travel or any of the scientific hypotheses that had been put out there by Einstein or whoever. Like, I don't even remember now. But when I was 10, one day I just said to my parents, hey, I bet if you could travel faster than the speed of light, you could travel in time. And then it turns out that that's like a theory. So I asked that question, and I also said, what does quickness and lightness have to do with ether? So as this message was coming through, I had so many questions. It was hard for me to stick to just one, and sometimes that might not go too great with the guides, but we'll see. So anyways, they said, you can escape the confines of ether by traveling faster than the speed of light. We say confines, but you use your mind to travel so quickly. You are not confined, although you do have physicality. And so using your mind to play with ether is a first step in transcending. What do you wish to manifest? More time? We say that what you really wish for is to be above time, to know how to transcend the scaffolding of time. So build steps, build a ladder, and look down with a bird's eye view from the mountaintop. You do not have to climb like the goat if you wish to have a shortcut. If we're here to experience time, I asked, why would we want a shortcut? How does reversing slowness align with what you're saying? Accepting and appreciating slowness allows you to release it when you need to. You can choose when to speed up or slow down. Both have benefits. Both have lessons to be taught. Both are here for you. Your nervous system determines the speed or slowness with which you can move through dimensions. Then I asked, why is this important to know now? How is this related to the conversation about Earth's healing that we started with? And they said, dear ones, you may use this tool now. It will be beneficial as the Earth heals and is held. It is held by you. You are held by the Earth. You are held in ether. You hold ether. You may use it to help heal the earth, hold yourself when you need support, magnetize compassion when it is needed. You may use it to assist the earth. Ether is part of the earth, the life-sustaining infrastructure the earth provides. Gravity and ether are forces that allow density. Density is a state that allows separateness. Separateness is needed so you can experience coming back to whole. The earth has a similar journey as you are her, and she is you. It is time. It is time to come back to whole. It is time that is not linear or real. It is time. It is time to embrace who you are and what you are. And then I said, is there anything else you want collective to know? And they said, slowness helps with calm. Calm is needed. Use it to your advantage. Clarity in the murk can come with calm. It is time. And that's where this message ends. And it's really interesting because it felt like in the beginning, we were talking to some form of earth spirits, maybe Gaia, maybe spirit guides of the collective. And by the end of that message, where I sat down to ask more questions about ether, it felt like the angels came in. So that was really cool. We're surrounded by so many different guides and spiritual beings that it's just so cool that they're all here to support us. But I'm going to leave it at that. Hope this helps. Hope this resonated in some way. I'm not going to lie, I don't understand all of the message. If there are parts of it that you do understand, feel free to let me know. And I'll see you next time.